company called Penergic Life. We are going to do a series that consists of the 5 fundamentals of shooting. The first of the 5 fundamentals is grip. During this series, we're going to be working with Jamie, who is Penergic Life's therapist, and going through these fundamentals one by one.
Hi.
Before we get started, we're going to talk about the 4 cardinal rules of gun safety. Always, always, always assume that any gun, even when you know it's unloaded, is loaded. Never point a gun at anybody or anything you don't want to destroy. Know what your target is and know what's beyond your target. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Anytime you pick up a firearm, you want to make sure that it is in this condition, okay? Why do I say that? In this condition, where the magazine is out and the slide is racked back to its rearmost position and held in place by the slide stop, I can verify that there's not a magazine with ammo in there, and I can physically inspect the chamber to make sure there's nothing inside that chamber that could accidentally go off. The reason why we stress these rules of safety is that we want to try to build them into our brain, and we're going to talk about this all through this shooting documentary, okay? We want to make sure that we build the muscle memory, the brain memory, okay? That we automatically do these things over and over and over again the same exact way. Here's why. Any loss of concentration, an expert can make a mistake. There's a few things that are built into that brain memory that I just discussed that come into play even when I pick up a firearm and I know everything is safe and I've gone through that whole process in order to get the proper grip, which is the first fundamental, first of those 5 fundamentals in shooting. Continuing along that theme of creating that brain memory, which people refer to as muscle memory, I like to refer to it as brain memory, okay? There's a couple things that come into play that we want to do every single time that we pick this thing up and get it ready to shoot, and that's grip. That's the first fundamental, okay? But before we dive right into grip, we're going to talk about some parts on this gun. This is referred to as a back strap on the back of this gun right here. And as you get to the very top of the back strap, this little flare here is known as a beaver tail, okay? So when we talk about grip, my goal is to get as much meat on this firearm as high as I possibly can to control recoil. The first step that I always do when I pick up a firearm, keeping the 4 rules of safety in mind at all times, is I always take the web of my hand, which is that portion right in between here. That's the web of your hand. And what I want to do, my brain wants to get that feedback of feeling the web of my hand slide up that back strap, up underneath that beaver tail as high as I possibly can. Now notice, even with the slide racked back, okay, my finger is indexed up off of the trigger, okay? Now when I do this, what I'm doing in my brain is I'm looking for a spot on the particular gun that I'm using, okay? There's something there that I'm looking for to create that muscle memory or brain memory, and usually I like to keep it in between the slide and the grip of the gun, the frame, okay? So now, I'm moving that forward, okay? I'm going to rotate the gun, and I'm going to show where my fingers are. This portion of the gun right here is known as the undercut. I'm going to make contact. I'm going to have a point of contact on that undercut with my middle finger right above that knuckle. Some of these connections are going to be on a different spot on your body, okay? But the general rule should remain the same. Get the web of that hand as high as you possibly can. Keep your finger indexed off of the gun, okay? Make that point of connection with that undercut, okay? Here's the other thing that I want to point out. I want to keep my thumb high, okay? And I'm doing this for a reason, because A, it takes leverage off of these 3 fingers, known as the 3 amigos, right? And they're going to come into play later, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it also is setting myself up for my other hand. And remember, I told you I want to make certain points of contact, okay? Now, I'm going to move a little bit here to show you exactly what I'm doing with my other hand, because my other hand, I want to put it out in front of me, and then I want to cant my thumb forward, right? I want to cant that thumb forward. Now, I'm going to make another point of contact with another part of the gun known as the trigger guard, okay? So you're going to see my index finger right back by the knuckle, after I've canted my hand forward, is going to make contact with that trigger guard over the three amigos. What I actually do is I use this takedown lever. This is a SIG P320. I use this takedown lever kind of like a gas pedal. And I'm getting that high grip where everything is connected. Now if you notice, at the top of the gun, my index finger and my thumb are almost directly across from one another, right? One other thing that I want to make sure people know is that this finger, which is this hand, which is my support hand, is going to control roughly 70% of the grip pressure on this firearm. This right here is considered a proper grip. Now, what I want you to do is try to mimic everything that I just did. In fact, I'm going to break the rules of safety and I'm going to hand this gun to you, and you're going to tell me what you're going to do first. I just handed you a gun in an unsafe fashion.
Right. So I'm gonna get this back.
Okay, and you just pointed that gun at me.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that's hard to get back, but you've got to push something up, right?
Yeah. Got it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, now hand that gun back to me. You were having trouble racking that, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you a quick trick. Okay. This is a 9mm handgun. Okay. It has a relatively heavy spring in here to try to control recoil. Now what we want to do with that is try to get leverage on this gun. And the best way we can get leverage on this gun is to take our elbows and sort of put it into our side. I'm always talking about points of contact, and I'm making points of contact here, okay? And then we obviously, do we have more leverage on something if we hold it out here or if we hold it in here?
Hold it in.
That's exactly right. We have more leverage when we hold something in here. So if I've got my proper grip with my shooting hand on this gun, right? And I've got that proper grip, I want to hold my elbows in close to here, and I want to get this in close to my body. And I want to take this thumb and I want to point it back towards me, like saying this guy, right? And I want to try to get a hold with 3 or 4 fingers, how many I can. This has an optic on it, so it makes it a little bit easier, okay? And I want to grip the slide up here. Now at the same time, I'm going to rotate the gun and I'm going to show you that I'm putting upward pressure with my thumb on that slide stop, okay? So when I grip that slide, I'm going to push with this hand and I'm going to pull with this hand in that good leverage space, okay? And I'm going to pull that gun back and I'm going to feel that slide stop go up into the notch designed to hold that slide to the rear, and it's that simple, okay? So I'm going to have you try that one more time. Yep. Push.
Yep. Hang on. I'm psyching myself up for it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good.
Look at that. Look at that.
That actually felt really good.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, that's...
honestly, that helps.
You're trying to take advantage of leverage. Okay?
Yeah.
To review, grip. You want the web of that hand. Point out the web of the hand. Yep. I want it as high as I can possibly get it on that gun. I mean high, right? I want my index finger indexed, okay? Up on the slide of the gun, in between the slide and the frame. I keep my thumb high, okay? I keep my thumb high to take leverage away from the 3 amigos and to provide a place for my support hand. My support hand, I put it out in front of me, I cant the thumb forward. I make my second point of contact on the trigger guard. I keep my thumb high and get it up on the takedown lever to use it as a gas pedal. All right? So now I want you to do the same thing and talk me through it.
Okay. So I have my 3 fingers, not like really, really tight, but on the bottom.
Okay.
I have my index finger indexed, and I'm touching this as like a guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my thumb as high as I can get it with this grip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is the web of your hand as high as it can possibly get on that gun?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so then
There
bring
you
that.
go. Now, show me how you cant your hand. Don't you cant your hand forward? Yep. And you're making points of contact with the trigger guard with your index finger underneath, right?
Right. So it looks like that.
Okay. All right. And we will work on stance next. That looks like a proper grip. Do you feel comfortable?
Yep.
All right. Thank you for watching this first video in this series. And remember to check us out on our website, www.panergiclife.com. We have a foundation there and a pretty detailed website. And check us out on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook. You have anything else out there?
YouTube.
YouTube. Thank you for watching. Okay. I like to have it in this condition. And what this condition is, there's not a magazine. Why did you just laugh?
You can't say I like to have it in this condition.
Why?
I'd like to have it in this condition.
But before we get there, we need to know.
COVID-19.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm sorry. Ready?